Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones, and today I'm doing a tomahawk steak. This is a big boy right here. This weighs in at 3 1/4 pounds. And keep in mind, a lot of that is bone. So you're really, buying something you can't eat. Maybe your dog can enjoy it. But there's just something about a tomahawk that people just love, It's technically just a ribeye steak. If you were to cut the bone off right here, you got a cowboy steak. If you cut it off even with a steak, you got a bone-in steak. That's the only difference. It's still a ribeye, but with tomahawks, many times they're super thick. That is 2 3/4 inches thick. We actually measured it earlier. Now this is choice, this is not prime, but let me get it out of the package in here. That way you can kind of see what we got here. It's actually got some pretty good flakes in there. That's the thing about choice. You can have a high-end choice or you can have a low-end prime, and there's not much difference in between them. All right, so what I want to do is take this seasoning. This is Fire and Water Cooking's black garlic and herb compound butter. I have not tried this yet, so this just sounds excellent for any kind of steak. By the way, I am using the Pits and Spits adjustable flat top grill on this. That's a perfect grill to do this. You can lower your fire all the way down. I've already got it up and running. I've got just a small amount of charcoal and it's slowly coming up to heat. We're going to do a reverse sear on this, and I'll show you exactly how I'm doing that. But for right now, let's go ahead and get some seasoning on this and let this start sweating in. I'm gonna do all sides, front, back, everything. Now it's a thick cut of meat. It's more like a roast on a bone, if you ask me, for the size of this. And yeah, you can get them bigger. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this seasoned up. Then we're going on to the pit. It's gonna take roughly an hour to get this up to, I'm shooting for 110 degrees on the reverse part of it. And then once we sear it, I'm shooting for no more than 130 for a medium rare. That's the way I like steak. That's the way Derek likes steak. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to be monitoring the temperature of this to hit that 110. I will verify it with an instant read thermometer, but I'm using the ThermoPro Thermo Spike. And I've got it pushed in all the way up to the line where it needs to be. And so we're ready to go on to the pit. But before I do, I want to briefly talk about these hats. They come in multiple colors, and also what I've got here, I've got towels that are available. These are just towels you can clip to your side while you're cooking. It's got my logo on them. Here's another one. And if you want t-shirts, they're also available. Now, in order to get these, just contact me. You can find my email on my About page. You can access the About page from my main channel page. Just click anywhere where it says Smoky Ribs. That should take you to my main channel page, and look for the link that says About. From there, you can find the email address, and I'll tell you, or I'll put you in contact with who I've got doing these. So like I said, these t-shirts, hats, multiple colors, anything you want. All right, let's go over here to the pit and get this bad boy on. And by the way, this thermometer will read the internal temperature of the steak and also the ambient temperature around the steak. All right, we're at 175, but we're slowly coming up in temperature. I want to end up somewhere around 225, and we're just gonna slowly bring this up. I'll tell you what, let me put the meat more here in the bone over here to where we don't burn our bone, but the fire is over here on this side, so we are going indirect for now. And we're just gonna let it go until I hit my 110 degrees that I'm looking for. And so you know that Pits and Spits now has some modular stainless steel grates that will fit on my pit. And next week I'm going to feature those on another video featuring the Pits and Spits adjustable flat top grill. All right, I am reading 110 degrees internal on this steak. So what I want to do is go ahead and remove it. But before I do, let's verify the temperature with this instant read. Oh boy, that's tender. 107, 109, 110. Okay, we're good. Now once I remove this, we're gonna build this fire up to where it's raging. We're gonna leave this open to where you can get plenty of air. Matter of fact, I'm going to open these vents up here and here. I know that bone's hot, so I'm just gonna grab it right here. Let's take it over here to the other table. All right, we're just gonna put it here for now, let that rest. I am gonna get this thermometer out of here. And we're gonna build this fire. We'll bring you back. All right, you can use olive oil, or in my case, I'm using avocado oil. All I want to do is just put a little oil on each side of this. Get ready for the sear. It's gonna be a few minutes before we get the pit up to heat to actually sear. We want it very hot. That's why we're leaving everything open. Now, due to the fact that we got all these flies hanging out today on this hot Mississippi day, I will be wrapping this with foil too to keep the flies at bay.
Mississippi, we in Alabama.
Oh yeah, my bad. I meant Alabama. We're in Alabama. Derek lives in Alabama. I live in Mississippi. He's from Mississippi though. All right, that's looking good there. Let's move the Miller Lite. Let's get the thermometer off here. And we're just gonna tin it just to protect the meat. We got us a good hot fire. Let's start searing this. We're gonna probably go about a minute, flip it over, go about a minute, and just keep going until we hit our temperature we're wanting. That's what you want. You want that flame kissed right there. It's not engulfed in flame, just enough to really give it some flavor. All right, we've been going a minute. Let's flip it over. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Heck yes. Got that little bit of char right in there. That's flavor right there, boys. This is where an instant read really shines. 114. If you want to dial in the perfect steak to your liking, if you want to make sure poultry's up to the temperature you want, to where it's safe to eat, you can't go wrong with an instant read. If you'll look in the description box, if you'll check out the link for ThermoPro, click on that link and you'll get exclusive discounts, good discounts that'll save you a bundle on these instant reads or any other thermometer that ThermoPro carries. All right, let's set it off here. Beautiful color on that, nice mahogany color. I am hitting 129, 128, 127. Let's get it off of here and let it rest. All right, we're gonna lay it right here on this cutting board, and I'm gonna take that foil that we rested it in, I'm just gonna drape it over it just to keep the flies off of it. We're gonna let this hang out for about 10 to 15 minutes because this is thick. Remember, almost 3 inches in places. Right now it shrunk down a little bit, it's probably 2.5 inches. Big steak. Ooh boy, summertime has kicked in. Just cannot control these flies, but like I said in a recent video, that's just part of it. All right, the first thing I wanna do, look at all that juice, is take a boning knife and remove this from the bone. And Derek can give this to one of his dogs, if I can get it off of here. There we go, right there. Yes, sir. Now, I'm going to taste this spinalis right here, but before I do that, I'm just going to cut across, see what we look like, see how we did. Oh yeah. Let that oxidize for a minute, but you can tell that's a good medium rare. Now, if you like them rare or if you like them medium rare, you just got to play with the temps. I pulled this at 110 to let it rest, got it up to I think 127. I was shooting for 125, but it happens fast sometimes. You just gotta, it's starting to get there, look. Yeah, it's got a nice color to it. It's definitely a medium to medium rare. It's right in my ballpark anyway. And unfortunately, the best part of a ribeye is the spinalis right here. That is your most tender, most flavorful piece. The rest of it's great too, but this is what I'm going to do a taste test on. And I'm not eating that big of a chunk, so we're going to cut this down again. All right there will work for now. Look how juicy. Oh my goodness. All right, I've got to go in for another one. That was just too good. Beautiful. Tender, extremely juicy. Let me finish it. So like I said at the beginning of this video, that is a choice grade, not prime. Everybody knows prime is fantastic, but you can get a high-end choice where it's got flex. I was comparing them in the store. They had prime here and choice here. I'm looking at all the flecks of fat in there, and there was not hardly any difference. So I said, I'm going with choice. It's much cheaper. I paid $55 for this. I don't know how much the bone weighed, but it's 3 1/4 pounds. Like I said, it's like a small roast. And you try buying a tomahawk online and see what you pay. You can pay upward from $100 to $150 for this cut. And just, you know, if you're into tomahawks, then do that. But now, is a tomahawk worth the money you pay? That's totally up to you. When it all comes down to it, it's just a ribeye. But I will say this, tomahawks typically are much thicker, and you could see for yourself that it was just full of juice. I mean, and not only that, you can control temps better, trying to dial in that perfect temp, period, because you got all that to play with. And that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Russ Jones with Smoky Ribs Barbecue.